Evening. It's the wrap up. Welcome, Johnny here. The Team Superdad wrap up. It's how we end every week in the Team Superdad community. Friends, family, members around the world. Welcome. It is Friday. Right, the wrap up doesn't always happen on Friday, but generally it does. If it's the weekend I got the kids, it's going to happen later because we've got to pick them up at 12:30. And if it's not the weekend I got the kids, then it's going to be a lunchtime wrap up as always, like normal. So welcome. Where are you? What are you up to? As always, we're on all the channels, but we're via StreamYard. If you want to come on and comment, if you want to see your name in lights, then just post it in the comments on whatever channel you're on, and we'll be able to see exactly where you are and what you're up to. What does your Friday night look like? Where are you at and what are you up to? If you go to streamyard.com/Facebook, then as long as you're a Facebook user, you can reveal your beautiful face and name. If you've not joined the wrap up before, it is literally that. It is literally what the hell's been going on this week. It's a crazy world. I'm kind of, it's boring to keep saying it's a crazy world. It's a strange time. It's a different time. It's a crazy time. It's like, do you know what? It is the time we're in. If you were in a war, if you were in a plague, like there's always crazy times. Who knows what's crazy and what's not crazy? This is pretty crap though, isn't it? Got to be honest. But we're getting on with it. We are getting on with it. This week has been one of those down weeks. Do you have? And I think everyone does, right? Do you have down times, up times, down times? I am pretty cyclical like that. They call it, if you know about these things, it's your circadian cycle, your circadian rhythm, which is more like your energy through the day, but you can have it as well for your overall mood and wellness. So this week, I don't know if it's been one of those down weeks or if I just had a load of crap things to deal with. It's been my boys 11 plus, which in the UK, for some parts of the UK, it's a school test, an admissions test. You're getting tested to see how clever you are, basically. And it's not only about clever, it's about aptitude and stuff. To having just been through this process, this 9 months of getting ready for it and speaking to other parents, it's not a very nice experience, really. And I'm okay with that. I think that it does us good to experience a bit of stress. It does us good to learn what it takes to succeed at something. And make no bones about it, this is not stuff they know, right? Some of the maths is English comprehension, kind of, but then when you get down to non-verbal reasoning and you're having to twist stuff around and see whether it's a reflection or a rotation or what comes next, crack the code. Oh my gosh, crack the code. I've learned loads. I think I've shared this before, but this was the actual week. So his mother and I not on the same page about this whole subject, and not surprisingly, it gets to the final week, and yeah, so she takes him away for the weekend beforehand. Naturally, that didn't really go down that well with me. Some might think that was fine, others might think that's not fine. That's for other people to decide, but it just created this tension. And my whole goal from it was that we would get to this point and he would be ready and confident and we could just roll into it smoothly rather than, so like if there was stress, the stress came before rather than wait until the last minute and be really stressed and be stressed of the week of it. So he was pretty chilled actually at mine the morning of it. And sadly, before that, we had a whole meltdown, school involved. Oh, clearly I've got one perspective, other people have another perspective, the school, and it's just like, wow. If you've been involved with the school process, if your kids, maybe you've never had a phone call from the head teacher. I know that I put my parents through enough phone calls from head teachers and stuff. So it doesn't seem that strange, In my last year of primary school, I climbed on the roof one day. That didn't go down well. Another time I decided to bring cans of drink in from our home and then hand them out like the Pied Piper. And I ended up biting, I think it was Adrian Jones. I'm really sorry, Adrian. I bit her on the arm. Clearly that doesn't go down well either. So just trouble everywhere. I don't think it's that abnormal for 11-year-old kids to be getting themselves into trouble. I won't share what necessarily went on, and maybe that was enough cause for the school to be alarmed, but I think there was other forces at play, which that's just life, right? It's the best thing about these kind of things. If you've got school tests coming up, if you've got, I don't know, driving lessons, weddings, bar mitzvahs, whatever the family occasion in, the more you can be on the same page, the more you can be a united front and support each other is obviously a no-brainer. And to presume that not being on the same page is not going to be stressful is just ridiculous. So you got to find a way to communicate and be a team. Even if you're not a team, as far as your kids are concerned, you've got to be a team in a relationship, out of relationship, married, not married, whatever. So I can see people watching. Wherever you're at, say hello. Let me know what you're up to. Let me know what your Friday night looks like. Where are you? Who are you? Who are you? Are you in the Team Superdad community? Are you on my personal page? Are you on YouTube? Wherever you are, come and say hello. So this week on the Team Superdad podcast, by the way, this wrap up, it will end up as a podcast. You might even be listening to it as a podcast. If you're watching live now, give us a little like and share, get some other people involved. If you are on the podcast, then leave us a review. Make sure you subscribe. That is absolutely obvious. Make sure you subscribe. Otherwise, you're not going to get the next episode. And those are coming up. I just interviewed this week Laura and Barry Ash of Rock Solid Health. So they're a married couple. They've got this whole, it is fitness, but it's also mindset. It's also just healthy living. And they're a really cool couple. Absolutely. They're a team. I just mentioned that word team beforehand, and they are absolutely a team. Laura shared about some of her mental health challenges. It was Mental Health Day this week gone by. She shared about how she got retired from work, from the police force, early 30s, bipolar, quite bad OCD, and gets retired from work, from a job she loves. She gets retired from work. I'm going to open my Friday night beer. It's actually a cider, but let's crack that open because I'm thirsty. She gets retired from that, right? No kids. They've got a few cats. So if you're a cat person, we decided that 3 cats was the upper limit before you are officially a cat lady. We spoke about how did they see that through? Like as a couple, how did they see her challenges through, her health challenges, her mental health challenges? How did they see them through? Really something that I can relate to, having been through some challenges with my wife and not coming through the other side. How do you make it work? How do you support each other? What does being a team in that situation look like? So important. Like, we shouldn't let our health or a mental health problem come in and break our relationship. So if you're going through some of that now, then get help, chat to people, come and be part of Team Superdad. I don't know, talk to your, I'm not going to say church because that's what we did. It was very bad. But if you're in a good church, if you could trust those people, I would still say make sure you balance that with professional help and support. But really cracking podcast. That will go live as the podcast later next week, and it's live now as the recording, as the live video on the Facebook channels and on YouTube. Also interviewed this week David Walsh, who is a YouTube expert. Actually is one. If you go over to YouTube and look at David Walsh online, you'll see his hundreds of thousands of subscribers and however flipping million views. All about how to smash it on YouTube. So we talked how to get YouTube famous. And it wasn't just about that. We talked about his story and his journey, his relationship with his wife. They're a absolutely rock solid team. No kids either, actually. So that doesn't matter. I like to interview people who've got something to share. And there was lots of comments coming in on the different channels as we were doing that conversation. Because people want to know. People want to know how to make it big on YouTube. And that very much falls into both the finances section of Team Superdad, because using YouTube to make money, but also the family stuff, because pretty much if you've got kids, they're going to be wanting to put videos on YouTube. They'll be watching vlogs and Norris Nuts and other families and vloggers, the vlog squad from over in the States, David Dobrik and his crew. So it's kind of like a pressure if you're uncertain about it. But David really shared some cool stuff about why we shouldn't be afraid of using YouTube and letting our kids use it so long as we support them, which I'm totally on board with. Little drink. Cheers. So last weekend, kid-free weekend, and Saturday, hung out. You might have seen the pictures. Hung out with one of my best mates. Cheeky little 11K run, followed by a nice hot tub, followed by breakfast, which was a great morning. And then Saturday afternoon, went down to Brighton, saw Jonathan Drew and his lovely partner Sophie, and just nice to be there in the sun and hanging out. Went on a date in the evening, and just had a really awesome Saturday. Sunday, for some unknown reason, I get up. If you follow me on Strava, if you're on Strava, please share your Strava address or come and find me on Strava, Johnny Jensen, because I love connecting with my mates and my online contacts. Strava, Sunday morning, I go out for my run. I've hung out with my dad for 2.5 hours when he gets up at 6:30, which I do normally, just not when I've been to bed at 1:30. So we're chatting over Classic FM and stuff. And then I said, right, I'm going for a run. It was gorgeous. I used to live in Brighton. So we're running. I get down to the seafront and I can see the pier. So the pier is about 3 kilometers away. And the sun is out. It's this beautiful morning. Loads of people running. A whole shebang. The sea, the sun. So I get towards the pier, and I used to live that end of Brighton. So now I can see the run to Rottingdean, which I used to do. And I think, well, it's gorgeous. I'm just going to go for it. So then past the marina, it turns out it's a seriously long way. I get to Rottingdean, 10K. I look at my watch, just over 10K. So of course, I'm like, I've now got to run back just as far. Done like a 21K run in the end, which is getting on for a half marathon. As I get back into Brighton, coming in the other direction is the lady I've been on a couple of dates with. And so I must look like absolute crap. I've fallen over and cut my hand. So there's blood on me. And I've just done a like half marathon. And I'm like, oh, hi. We go for a coffee. I have got flapjacks, a banana, a bacon sandwich. She's vegetarian. And I got a bunch of salt sachets, which I pour in a cup, top up with water, stir it around. So now I'm like stuffing all this food in my mouth and drinking salt water. Oh, hi. How's it going? Good to see you. You know, so it's just, I can't even remember what we talked about or whether I look like an absolute nutter. So we'll see. I'll let you know. It's either very endearing or a massive put off. So we'll see what happens there. But it was an awesome weekend. Sunday lunch with a couple of friends afterwards, and it's just every time I'm down there, it's just more evidence, more reminders that that's where I would much rather be living, and we'll end up back there in due course. In due course is the exact segue into the next subject of money management. A couple of conversations in the Team Superdad group this week, just about managing finances, managing money. I had to do a whole load of juggling of finances during the first part of lockdown, which is kind of coming back to not haunt me, but it's just taking stuff to organize, right? So, you know, I have started managing my money a lot better over the last year, but it's like anything. There is levels to it and stages to it. And I'm realizing through talking to Daniel Latto this week and some other comments that still the level to which I'm managing my finances can be stepped up. And it feels like, oh, really, or that much trouble, or does it really matter? And actually, when you start to do it, you really can see it does matter. Your income and expenditure, a cash flow, like tracking. If you're spending this much, how much you're going to have, not in a week's time, but what's Christmas going to look like? It's a business thing, really, but to bring that into your personal life, if that's how businesses are successful, it shouldn't really be a surprise that is how, individually you can be successful. As a couple in particular, running a cash flow in your household is absolutely vital. So inside the finances section of the Team Superdad programs, the F5 and the Hero Academy, there's some cool sessions coming up around money management, income and expenditure, cash flow, and because you can't start to invest and save and make money until you've got that under control. So absolutely key part of being an epic dad, managing your finances and having great success. It's a journey, right? We're all on the journey. That's the whole part. I never profess to being the expert at all these things, but I am connected to those people and I am bringing them in for the rest of you guys. And on the subject of bringing in for the rest of you guys, it's the dad call. I've created something called the dad call, which is going to be on Monday nights. It's the perfect way to kick off your week. You know, everyone's talking about mental health, lockdown, blah, blah, blah. And I mean, that's just of the moment, right? But the fact that talking, chatting, hanging out, laughing, it might not be that we remember going to the pub and talking about serious things, you know, and it's kind of a cliche that men don't talk. I think a lot of men do talk. It's just that it's mixed in around banter and about piss take and, you know, ogling attractive women from across the bar and things like that. You know, it's very blokish to do those sorts of things. But increasingly, I do hope and I do believe that more men are asking each other, how you doing? And the important thing is, if you get asked that question, is you can't just say I'm fine and brush it off. You know, if you don't feel like it's the time to talk about it, say, do you know what? Cheers for asking me that. I'd love to ring you up tomorrow and tell you, because that's the perfect thing. People don't ask it, or people shouldn't ask it if they don't really care what you're going to say back to them. And the dad call is the answer to that. It's the tonic to that. So it's going to be Monday nights, 8 till 9:30, and you bring whatever you want. You bring your week, you bring a challenge, you bring an idea, you bring a problem. It is a safe space for dads to get together. It's going to be it's on Zoom. If you come over to the Facebook group, facebook.com/groups/Team Superdad, then you can see in the events that the dad call is posted there. And if you go over to teamsuperdad.com and get on the dad list, then details will be coming out about the dad call and how you can participate. Honestly, we all need to get clear sometimes, to shake off the crap. And the dad call's about that. I don't want it to be serious. There may be some serious conversations from time to time. We may just mix it up with, who knows, a silly picture, something, a sketch, a Monty Python sketch. We'll share it from YouTube during the session. But the dad call is the place to just relax, just be cool, get it off your chest, get a problem solved, have some fun. We might not be able to go down the pub so much over the next few months, few weeks, few months. So brick up a beer, bring it to the dad call, and let's have some fun. This has been the wrap up. We do it every week. There's loads of stuff coming down the track with Team Superdad. Come and get involved. Whether it's at teamsuperdad.com, whether it's on the Facebook group, Team Superdad, just literally search Team Superdad, Johnny Jensen, and we will hook you up. Whatever you need. One-on-one coaching as well is actually, I've got some awesome clients at the moment and doing some amazing things there, supporting them. So this was my vision. This was my plan going back as far as 2007 originally for the lodge, and then 2016 up that mountain in Austria. I'm doing it. It's happening. And the degree to which you want to get involved will determine how much more we can make it happen and how much more fun we can have with it. I'm tentatively hoping that we can have a fire walking event in February. I'm going to do it around Valentine's Day, because Valentine's Day is shit, right? Sitting across a table with people around you not talking. So we're going to have a Valentine's Day firewalking event, and what better thing to do with your partner than do a firewalk? Watch your space for that. Christmas is coming up, 11 weeks away, loads to be done. Come and get involved. We will make sure you absolutely smash it wherever you are at and whatever you need. I'm Johnny, Team Superdad out.